A very good evening to all of you. Hello and welcome, guys. My name is KP Singh, and I welcome one and all to today's session of weekly current affairs catch up. So we'll wait for a couple of seconds and let everybody join in. Welcome Arya, welcome Ananya, hello Siddhi, welcome Shashank. Okay, let's see. So as always, we will conduct this session in three parts. For part A, we are going to solve comprehension based questions. Part B, we will have a rapid fire round. You will get 10 seconds to read a question and respond. And part C, if time permits, we will also discuss a few legal updates. Welcome Sakshi, welcome Anmol, hello Lavanya. Okay. Well guys, your Knowledge Gym and BizQuest have been released. 2nd March, Knowledge Gym 18 and BizQuest 18 was released. 17th March, Knowledge Gym 19 and BizQuest 19 was released. Next one will be released on 2nd of April. So be ready for that. Welcome Trickiest. Hello Naveeb Balaji. Welcome Sakshi. Welcome Anmol. Welcome Khushi. Chale guys, let's start with the first passage of the day. World Happiness Report. So if you guys have been reading newspapers, this was the prominent news yesterday. I hope sabne padha hoga. Let's start. This year the edition of this year the sorry my bad. So this year the edition of the report was released on the March 18th, which identified Dash as the happiest country of the world. So which country has been named the happiest country of the world this year, and which edition of this report was released? Lavanya is the first one to answer. What about others? Shashank, okay. So Lavanya, that's correct. Shashank, that's right. Malvika, answer for the second question is correct. So this was the 10th edition of World Happiness Report 2022, and this year, just like last year, Finland has topped the chart. So, published since 2012, the World Happiness Report is based on two key ideas: happiness or life evaluation measured through opinion surveys and identifying key elements that determine well-being and life evaluation across countries. Published by United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network, the report contains rankings of national happiness based on several factors and primarily on the responses by the individuals. The World Happiness Report usually ranks 150 countries based on several factors such as real GDP per capita, social support, healthy life expectancy, freedom to make life choices, generosity, and perceptions of corruption. Every year, each variable measures a populated weightage or average score on a scale of 0 to 10 that is tracked over a period of time and further compared with other countries. This year, the report ranked 146 countries. This year, countries which ranked in the top 10 last year moved upwards and downwards. Only Austria dropped out from the top 10 list. The top 3 positions in the World Happiness Report were won by 3 of the Scandinavian nations. Bonus question, name all the Scandinavian countries. So following Finland in the top 10 ranks is Denmark, which is also ranked as the second happiest country in last year's report. Iceland, Switzerland and Netherlands followed Finland and Denmark in top 10 categories. So these are your top 5. So what is India's rank could be another bonus question. Okay, Finland for the 5th time, Shashank, that's correct. So Finland has been topping this chart for last 5 years. Okay, Sweden, Norway, Denmark. Shashank says Sweden, Norway and Denmark. That's answer to names of Scandinavian countries. But Lavanya says even Finland should be included. What about Iceland? Is Iceland also included in Scandinavia? Chaliye. So Christy says Norway, Finland and Denmark. Norway, Sweden, Finland and Iceland. Aryan. So सबके answer bits and pieces में nobody has been able to give complete answer. Aditya Agarwal says Nordic countries like Norway, Finland and Denmark. What about Sweden? What about Iceland? So when you ask somebody in the Scandinavia, what all countries will you include? They will name only 3. Norway, Sweden and Denmark. But if you ask somebody from the English speaking belt, they will include couple of more countries to that list, like Finland, Iceland. Okay. So Riddhi says Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Iceland, Finland and the Faroe Islands. That's correct. Chaliye, let's move on to Q&A. When is International Happiness Day celebrated every year? On which date do we celebrate the International Happiness Day? Your options are 17th March, 18th March, 19th March or 20th March. So on which date do we celebrate International Happiness Day? 17th, 18th, 19th or 20th March? Asharya is the first one to respond, then trickiest, then we have Sakshi, Lavanya, Aryan, D, B, Neha says 20. Correct answer is option D, 20th March. Next question on your screen. The United Nations started to celebrate International Day of Happiness in 2013, but a resolution for the same was passed in which year? Your options are 2009, 2010, 2011 or 2012. Resolution for the International Day of Happiness was passed in which year? So if we have started celebrating in 2013, so उससे पहले होना चाहिए. Resolution was passed just a year before that. So answer would be 2012. Correct answer is option D. Moving on. Which country is the most unhappy country according to the World Happiness Report 2022? World's most unhappy nation. Your options are Myanmar, Ukraine, Afghanistan, Sudan. Well, this report was compiled just before Russia invaded Ukraine. So it was compiled before Russian invasion. Okay, correct answer in this situation should be option C, Afghanistan, which was invaded by the Taliban forces last year. Okay, right answer is option C, Afghanistan. Most of you got it right. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Option A. The United Nations started to celebrate International Day of Happiness in 2013, but a resolution for the same was passed in July 2012. We have already discussed this in the previous slide, so this one is not incorrect. Moving on. This resolution was first initiated by Bhutan, which emphasized on the importance of national happiness over national income since the early 1970s, thereby adopting gross national happiness over gross national product. Option C. The phrase gross national happiness was first coined by the 9th king of Bhutan, King Jigme Shingye Wangchuk in 1972. Option D. None of these. Well, this is a difficult question because I don't expect most of the people to find out error in this. D is incorrect. Correct answer is option C. So if you read option B, that gives you a hint. Bhutan started emphasizing on national happiness in 1970s. So it was the year 1970 when 9th king of Bhutan, King Jigme Shingye Wangchuk, coined this term, gross national happiness. Correct answer, option C. Chaliye, so this article was borrowed from Hindustan Times. It was a report published on World Happiness Index. Moving on. So couple of more pointers which you should note down. India is ranked as at 136th position this year. So we have dropped a few points. So 146 countries में हम लोग 136 पे हैं, तो बहुत ही बुरा हाल है. And we have performed worse than all our neighbors. Even our dear neighbor Pakistan is at 121st place. Finland has been named world's happiest country for the 5th consecutive year now. UN sponsored index has ranked Afghanistan as the unhappiest, and second most unhappiest country is Lebanon. Latest list was completed before the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So Ukraine might feature in this or might drop in the next year's edition. Northern Europe, that is Nordic nations, Scandinavian countries, again dominated the top spots. Denmark was second, Finland was first, followed by Iceland, Switzerland, and Netherlands. USA has improved its rank. Now it is at 16th position. World Happiness Report assigns happiness score on a scale of 0 to 10 based on an average of data over a 3-year period, as well as personal sense of well-being based on Gallup polls. What are Gallup polls, guys? Bonus question. So Gallup polls in each country. The happiness scores takes account of GDP, social support, personal freedom, and levels of corruption. चलिए. So आश्चर्य सिंह इंडिया लेकिन 139 से 136 पे पहुंचा है, बहुत अच्छा किया. बट डू यू थिंक दैट्स समथिंग वर्थ सेलिब्रेटिंग? 136 तो बहुत ही बुरा स्कोर है. आप लास्ट बेंचेस में आते हैं. चलिए. सो Gallup polls are basically opinion polls. So Aryan says, how is Pakistan about their GDP has plummeted? The reason is that this report is not entirely based on data. It is also based on opinions. So they conduct surveys across countries, and perception of public is also put into consideration. Okay. Welcome Shaurya, chaliye welcome Shavi. Well, so Gallup polls are basically opinion polls. Abhi election result आए 5 states के, so you might have seen those exit polls just before the election results. These polls were also a type of Gallup polls. So यहाँ पे लोगों से opinion पूछा जाता है, उनका perception gauge किया जाता है by asking a series of questions related to a particular topic. So how corrupt do you find your current government? If we ask this question right now in our country, many people will say that India is not corrupt at all because we have supreme leader leading our nation. So that is how perceptions are built. Well, World Happiness Report is a publication of UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network. It contains articles and rankings of national happiness based on respondent ratings of their own lives, which the report also correlates with various quality of life factors. In July 2011, UN General Assembly adopted a resolution on happiness towards a holistic definition of development, inviting member countries to measure the happiness of their people and to use the data to help guide public policy. On 2nd of April 2012, this was followed by first UN high-level meeting called Well-being and Happiness, defining new economic paradigm, which was chaired by UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and Prime Minister Jigme Thinley of Bhutan. Bhutan was given this importance because Bhutan had adopted gross national happiness over gross domestic product as their main development indicator. First report was published on 1st of April 2012, good way to fool people on April Fool's Day, as a foundational text for the UN high-level meeting, Well-being and Happiness, defining new economic paradigm, drawing international attention. Next passage will relate to International Day to Combat Islamophobia, which was declared recently. So as the UN General Assembly adopted a resolution on Tuesday to proclaim Dash as International Day to Combat Islamophobia. So which date would that be? So now onwards, UN will celebrate International Day to Combat Islamophobia. Mention the date. Riddhi says happiness is very subjective and can't be done by sampling surveying. So therefore, they are not entirely relying on people's opinion. They also factor in development of data related to other parameters. So GDP is also taken into consideration. Okay, so Riddhi is the first one to answer for this one. Then Ria, that's correct. Sashank is trying to answer second question, but not the first one. Okay, so correct answer for the first one is 15th March, which most of you got it right, not March 3rd, but 15th of March. Well, India expressed concern over phobia against one religion being elevated to the level of an international day, saying that there are growing contemporary forms of religiophobia, especially anti-Hindu, anti-Buddhist and anti-Sikh phobias. The 193-member UN Assembly adopted a resolution introduced by Dash Ambassador Munir Akram. So, Munir Akram is ambassador of which country? Riddhi, that's correct. Shashank, that's right. Correct answer for the second question is our dear neighbor Pakistan. So, well, it wasn't tabled by Pakistan, it was tabled by OIC. So, Mr. Munir Akram was presenting it or introducing it on behalf of OIC. What is OIC? Can somebody give me the full form of OIC? Okay, chaliye. So Munir Akram under agenda item Culture of Peace to proclaim 15th March as International Day to combat Islamophobia. Reacting to the adoption of the resolution, India's permanent representative to the UN Ambassador T.S. Tirumurthy said in UN General Assembly that India hopes the resolution adopted does not set a precedent which will lead to multiple resolutions on phobias based on selective religions and divide the United Nations into religious camps. Organization of Islamic Cooperation is right answer, not Islamic countries but Islamic Cooperation, Sakshi. Not Organization of Islamic Countries. Yes, it is an Organization of Islamic Countries, but it is named as Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Okay. So, India has shared its concern that might be in future UN will also declare International Day against Hindu phobia, International Day against Buddhist phobia, International Day against Jew phobia and other, days on similar lines. So, rather than that, they should have declared only one day against religiophobia. Hinduism has more than 1.2 billion followers, Buddhism more than 535 million and Sikhism more than 30 million spread out across the world. It is time that we acknowledge the prevalence of religiophobia rather than single out just one. It is important that UN remains above such religious matters which may seek to divide us rather than bring us together on one platform of peace and harmony and treat the world as one family, stated T.S. Tirumurthy. Chaliye, let's answer a few questions. The resolution was introduced by Pakistan on behalf of Organization of Islamic Cooperation. OIC was established in which year? Your options are 1965, 1967, 1969 and 1970. Achha, bonus question. Why was 15th March chosen as International Day to combat Islamophobia? Okay, somebody is asking what is China's rank and Purvi responded. China's rank is 84th. Answer the question on the screen. Aishwarya is the first one to respond, then Anmol, then Siddhi, then Vairavi, then Shashank, then Ananya. Correct answer is option C, 1969. Well, OIC consists of how many member states? So, how many member countries are there in OIC? (57, 58, 59 or 61? 57, 58, 59 or 61? Okay, there was a bonus question. Why 15th March? Because there was a terrorist attack in New Zealand on 15th of March, which is known as Christchurch attack. Christchurch attack, where a gunman entered two mosques and he went on a shooting spree. Many people got killed. So as a remembrance, we are declaring, UN declared 15th March as International Day to combat Islamophobia. OIC currently has 57 member states. So right answer for this one is option A. Next question. Earlier in 2019, United Nations General Assembly has also passed a resolution to celebrate dash International Day commemorating the victims of acts of violence based on religion or belief. So in 2019, they declared another day which was common for all religion and not specific to one particular faith. On which day do we celebrate International Day commemorating the victims of acts of violence based on religion or belief? 21st August, 22nd August, 23rd or 24th August? Simple question. Okay, let's see How many of you can get this one right? Siddhi, that's correct. Riddhi, that's right. Siddhi, Oak, that's correct. Trickiest, that's correct answer. Chetan, that's right. Correct answer is option B, 22nd of August. Which one of the following statement is incorrect? Your options are option A, the resolution adopted by consensus of 193 member world body and co-sponsored by 55 mainly Muslim countries. Option B, the resolution asks all countries, UN bodies, international and regional organizations, civil society, private sector and faith-based organizations to organize and support various high visibility events aimed at effectively increasing awareness of all levels about curbing Islamophobia. Option C, the resolution emphasizes the right to freedom of religion and belief and recalls a 1981 resolution calling for the elimination of all forms of intolerance and of discrimination based on religion or belief. Option D, none of the above. Okay, many of you are picking A. By the way, right answer for this one is option D. So, India raised its reservation, but India didn't vote against it. So, even India supported the motion, but India also shared its concerns. So, right answer is none of these. Okay, this article was borrowed from ndtv.com. Couple of more important pointers on Islamophobia resolution. UN General Assembly has proclaimed 15th March as International Day to Combat Islamophobia from this year, 2022. Resolution was adopted by 193 member nation UN Assembly. Pakistan's Ambassador Munir Akram on behalf of Organization of Islamic Cooperation introduced it. So, it is going to commemorate the gruesome terrorist attack which happened in Christchurch, New Zealand, where 51 worshippers were killed and 40 others were wounded. Main objective is to spread awareness about combating Islamophobia. It will be curtailing systematic hate speech and discrimination against Muslims, respect of religious symbols and practices, along with the elimination of all forms of intolerance. Resolution was introduced by OIC but was co-sponsored by many countries, including some nations which are accused of genocide against Muslim minorities in their own country. So, for example, China. So, co-sponsored by China, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Egypt, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Jordan and many other countries, mostly Islamic nations of the world. Chaliye, India's stand. So, India has supported but raised its own concern. India's stand is that we should have a general understanding against religiophobia and we should not declare one day specifically related to one faith. Why? Because this will create a trend. Now, let's say there are 15 Buddhist countries in the world. They will also table a resolution to declare another date as a day to combat Buddhist phobia. Similarly, Christian countries will also come up with a similar exercise and they will also want to declare another day as something to combat crime against Christians. So, that way UN General Assembly will turn into a camp, religion-based camp, where countries will try to lobby and try to get days declared based on their own affiliations. Okay, chaliye. Next passage on your screen, Gati Shakti multi-modal cargo terminal. This is very important. The Asansol division of Indian Railways has successfully commissioned a private siding of Dash at Thaparnagar in accordance with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Gati Shakti and the Ministry of Railways policy regarding Gati Shakti multi-modal cargo terminus called GCT informed the Ministry of Railways on Thursday. So, what is a private siding? That's your first bonus question. Then there's a question on your screen. First, fill in the blank. Since the publication of GCT policy, this is the first such GCT to be commissioned in Indian Railways. Until now, coal was delivered to the power plant through a road which is scheduled to be converted into 120 inward coal rakes every month. So, second bonus question, what are coal rakes? Also, 2 to 4 outward rakes of fly ash are projected to be handled from the siding. Let me just go through the chat box. Ananya says like China. Okay. चलिए, what is the answer for the first fill in the blank? I think students are finding it difficult to answer, so I will give you the answer. So it is name of a power plant जिन्होंने सबसे पहला private siding लगाया है. Name is Maithan Power Limited. So Maithan Power Limited became the first power plant to have its own private siding. Private siding basically means a private terminal. So private railway infrastructure, railway tracks would be laid down reaching till your plant. So अभी तक आप रेलवे प्लेटफॉर्म से सामान उठा के कोयला लाकर अपने यहाँ ट्रांसपोर्ट कराते थे, अब वो डायरेक्टली आपके फैक्ट्री में पहुंचेगा. Question is screen clearly visible to all. Lavanya, click on the settings tab available on the bottom right hand corner of your phone or laptop. Then click on the best quality available. Click on the best quality available. Screen will become clear. Okay. Well, so Maithan Power Limited is the answer for the first fill in the blank. Next question was, what is private siding? Private siding basically means a private platform or a private terminal. So from the railway station, a private railway line will be laid down which reaches Maithan Power Limited, and all the coal supply will be delivered directly to their home, directly on their doors. So they are expecting that at least 120 inward coal rakes every month will reach their plant. Coal rake basically one coal rake is around 59 wagons. तो आप सोचे पूरा ट्रेन है. सो 120 ट्रेन आएंगे हर महीने इनकी फैक्ट्री में कोयला देने के लिए. सो पावर प्लांट को 120 trains worth of coal is required every month. So this way, this will increase railways monthly earnings by around 11 crores. The siding is in close proximity to industrial and mining areas, and its future prospects are very strong. Chairman and CEO of Railway Board Dash during the commissioning of the GCT stated that Indian Railways is committed to making PM's Gati Shakti's vision a reality. Rail transportation is beneficial to the economy because it is most energy efficient and cost effective mode of transportation. The commissioning of this port as well as other similar terminals will have a significant positive impact on nation's economy. So name the CEO of Indian Railway Board. विनय कुमार, वीके त्रिपाठी. चलिए, ठीक बात है, दोनों ठीक है. विनय कुमार त्रिपाठी और वीके त्रिपाठी इज द राइट आंसर. Next question on your screen. Since the establishment of GCT policy in December dash, this is the first such terminal to be commissioned by Indian Railways. Your options are 2018, 2019, 2020 or 2021. So, establishment of GCT policy in December of which year? Your options are 2018, 2019, 2020 or 2021. Well, Gati Shakti is progressing at a very nice Gati with a lot of Shakti. Correct answer is 2021. In 2021, GCT policy was established, and 2022, we see the first private siding. In 2009, the Maithan Power project was initiated, and in dash power generation was started. So 2009 में उन्होंने power project को initiate किया, and it started generating power in which year? 2010, 11, 12 or 13. Well, this question is not very important from your examination point of view, so I will quickly give you the answer. Right answer is 2011. Railway Board was established in which year? Another question related to year. Railway Board was established in which year? Your options are 1866, 1882, 1902 or 1905. Railway Board was established in which year? 1866, 1882, 1902 or 1905. 1882. Chetan says 1882. Nehal says 1882. Malvika will go with B. Siddhi will go with D. Vanavi will go with D. Okay, correct answer is D. 1905. Kashish, that's correct. Chaliye, which of the following statement is incorrect? Option A, PM Gati Shakti is an initiative launched with aim of coordinating infrastructure projects across all key infrastructure ministries, including railways, roads, waterways and aviation, for the planning as well as execution of national infrastructure projects, including all state governments. Nice. Option B, the Gati Shakti initiative has brought together 16 ministries and departments of the Indian government, including the railways and roads. Option C, it will also incorporate the infrastructure schemes of various ministries and state governments like Bharatmala, Sagarmala, inland waterways, dry and land ports, Udan, etc. चलिए, bonus question and fourth option, none of these. So जब तक आप इसको आंसर कर रहे हैं, साथ में ये भी बताइए what is full form of Udan. And for those of you who want to dive deeper into Gati Shakti, read up more about Bharatmala and Sagarmala. Right answer for this one is option D. All these statements are correct. So Udan का full form है उड़े देश का आम नागरिक. So under this scheme, government provides subsidized air tickets to people flying to small towns or second tier and third tier cities. Okay, this article was taken from newsonair.com, Indian Railways first Gati Shakti cargo terminal. So a bit more about Gati Shakti cargo terminal news. Gati Shakti is PM Modi's vision and Ministry of Railways policy regarding Gati Shakti multi-modal cargo terminal. The Asansol division of Indian Railway has successfully commissioned first private siding in our country, Methan Power Limited at Thapar-Nagar, Jharkhand. This is the first such GCT commissioned in Indian Railways since the publication of policy in 2021. Methan Power project was initiated in 2009 and they started producing electricity in 2011. Requirement of coal to the power project was being made through road, which is expected to convert into 120 inward coal rakes per month. Also 2 to 4 outward rakes of fly ash is projected to be handled from this siding. Railways will make 11 crores per month because of this. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced in last budget speech that 100 cargo terminals will be developed in next 3 years. So this is just a start. We are going to develop 100 such cargo terminals all over India. Gati Shakti is a national master plan for multimodal connectivity. It is heralding a new chapter in governance. It is a digital platform that brings 16 ministries together, and all our infrastructure projects are now being implemented in a much more planned and coordinated manner. It will also incorporate infrastructure schemes of various ministries and state governments like Bharatmala, Sagarmala, inland waterways, dryland ports, Udan, etc. Economic zones like textile clusters, pharmaceutical clusters, defense corridors, agri zones, electronic parks, industrial corridors, fishing clusters will be covered to improve connectivity and make Indian businesses more competitive. It will also leverage technology extensively, including spatial planning tools with ISRO imagery developed by BISEG-N, which is Bhaskaracharya National Institute for Space Applications and Geoinformatics. Let me just go through some of the comments in the chat box. Bharatmala is more into creating economic corridors. Okay, what about Sagarmala? ठीक है, so under Bharatmala we are creating corridors. These are road transport corridors throughout our country. Achha, one such project related to Bharatmala is right now being scrutinized by the Supreme Court. So I hope some of you have read about Char Dham project. Char Dham project is also connected to this Bharatmala project. So in Char Dham project, we are connecting all 4 dhams with better 4-lane roads, and because of that a lot of ecological damage is suspected or expected. Himalayan region is a eco-sensitive area, and now Supreme Court will try to determine whether it is justified or not. So more on that when developments happen. Next passage related to movies. BAFTA awards were declared recently. So BAFTA award 20, also called BAFTA awards 2022. Netflix's moody western Dash won the top prize at BAFTA Film Awards. So which film won the best film award at BAFTA Film Awards? Picking up best film and best director for Jane Campion. Its star Benedict wore a badge to show his support for Ukrainians as he accepted the Best Director prize on behalf of Campion. He also said he hopes to offer a place to stay for a Ukrainian refugee. Cumberbatch was beaten to the Best Actor award by Dash. So first question, Best Movie. Second question, Best Actor. Joanna Scanlon was named Best Actress. Scanlon, who was previously best known for British TV comedies like The Thick of It and Getting On, triumphed for her performance in the independent film After Love. She played a 60-year-old Muslim convert who suffers an identity crisis following sudden death of her husband. Let me see what people. So some Benedict के कुछ fan भी हैं आज के audience में. चलिए, Power of the Dog is the right answer. And who won the Best Actor award? Devanshi, that's right, but incomplete. Acha, bata diya aapne. So that's correct answer. Sambhav, that's right. Correct answer is Will Smith. So Will Smith, for which character? For which movie? Will Smith is correct. Palak is writing Will Myth. Okay. Will Smith, take care. King Richard is the right answer, not Pursuit of Happiness. King Richard. Okay, so Jones starred in Coda, a film about daughter of deaf parents, and her co-star Troy Kotsur made history as the first ever deaf BAFTA film winner. Delivering his Best Supporting Actor acceptance speech via an interpreter, he said, "I think it's all great. You are recognizing my work from all the way across the sea. It's truly amazing." Another US performer, Ariana DeBose, won Best Supporting Actress for playing Anita in Steven Spielberg's new version of musical West Side Story. Devarshi says, how important are these awards? Awards are generally considered important. So you should know the main winners like Best Film, Best Actor, Best Actress. And if there is something which is clutter breaking or path breaking. So for example, first deaf person receiving an award is also important. Chaliye, answer a few questions. Which edition of BAFTA Awards was announced in 2022? 73rd, 74th, 75th or 76th? Which edition of BAFTA Awards was announced in 2022? 73rd edition, 74th, 75th, yes, 76th. Ananya will go with option B, Palak with option B, Anmol with option C, Ali will pick option B, Riddhi will go with option C. So B versus C, 73rd or 74th? Chaliye, right answer for this one is option C. It was 75th edition of BAFTA. The film that received maximum number of awards was Dash, and it won 5 awards. So which film? That same film got maximum number of nominations, and by rule of probability, they also won maximum number of awards. The Power of the Dog, Belfast, After Love, and Dune. Incorrect. A जितने लोगों ने बोला उन सब के आंसर गलत है. Trickiest, that's the right answer. अनमोल ने इतनी बार ए लिख दिया that I got confused कि majority ए बोल रही है या सिर्फ अनमोल ए बोल रहे हैं. Aditya will go with D, Muskan with D, Arya with D, Farheen with B, Cool Jane with D, Aditya with D. Correct answer is D, Dune. The film, so correct answer is D, Dune. The film that received maximum nominations was Dune, with how many nominations? 7, 8, 10 or 11? 7, 8, 10 or 11. The film that received maximum nominations was also Dune, with how many nominations? Chavi will go with C, Kashish with 11, Ali with 10, Chetan with 10, Palak with D, 11. Right answer for this one is option D, 11. Riddhi, that's correct. Okay, which of the following statement is incorrect? Okay, क्या लिखा हुआ है? Which of the following mission is incorrectly matched? The EE British Academy Film Awards or BAFTA Film Awards are presented in an annual award show hosted by British Academy of Film and Television Arts to honor the best British and international contributions to film. Option B, the first BAFTA award ceremony was held in 1949 and the ceremony was first broadcast on BBC in 1956 with Vivian Leigh as the host. Option C, the ceremonies were initially held at the flagship Odeon Cinema in Leicester Square in London before being held at Royal Opera House from 2008 to 2016. Since 2017, the ceremony has been held at the Royal Albert Hall in London. Option D, until 2010, the mobile telephone network Orange sponsored the awards. Orange's parent company EE took over sponsorship of the event from 2011. Okay, if you're saying B, then you need to tell me why B. And if C, why C? Aditya says B is incorrect. Why is B incorrect? Riddhi is saying D is incorrect. Then why is D incorrect, Riddhi? So whenever you have to point out incorrect statement, do tell us why is that statement incorrect. Achha, because why would they broadcast 7 years later? So that means you misread what it says. It says the first BAFTA, you're saying about A. The EE British Academy Film Awards or BAFTA Film Awards are presented in annual award show hosted by British Academy of Film and Television Arts to honor the best British and international contributions to films. The ceremonies were initially held at Odeon Cinema. Achha, ye wala, B. The first BAFTA Awards was held in 1949 and the ceremony was first broadcast on BBC in 1956. It doesn't mean that 1949 wale awards were broadcasted in 1956. It simply means that earlier they were giving awards and nobody used to live broadcast or telecast them. But since 1956, BBC has been broadcasting every year's event. Is there news about Russia, Ukraine? Yes, Siddhi. Next passage relates to that. So last passage हम लोग Russia, Ukraine पे करेंगे. First BAFTA was in 1949. That's correct. Chale, right answer for this one is option D. Until 2010, mobile telephone network Orange sponsored awards. Orange's parent company EE took over the sponsorship from 2011. There's a small error in option D. Not 2011, but yes, Orange sponsored it 2009 and now 2012 onwards EE has been sponsoring it. ठीक है. Chale, a bit about BAFTA Awards. 75th edition, also known as BAFA Award, was held on 13th March. So BAFA and BAFTA, ये extra T क्या है? So it is British Academy Film Awards. Then what does T stand for? So they have been changing name after every couple of years. So earlier it was BAFTA, then it became BAFA, then again BAFTA. Television is the right answer, Palak. Correct. Arya, that's right. Aryan, that's correct. Venavi, that's correct. Not theatre, but television. So best film went to Power of the Dog. Best British film, Belfast. Best actor, Will Smith for King Richard. Best actress, Joanna Scanlon, After Love. Most award, Dune Comilla. Best documentary, Summer of Soul. Best animated movie, Encanto. Best director, Jane Campion, The Power of the Dog. A bit about these awards. British Academy of Film and Television Arts was founded in 1947. British Film Academy as the British Film Academy, and many people contributed like David Lean, Alexander Korda, Carol Reed and others. In 1958, Academy merged with the Guild of Television Producers and Directors to form Society of Film and Television, and later on it changed to the British Academy of Film and Television Arts in 1976. BAFTA is supported by 6,000 people from film, television and video game industries. BAFTA did not hand out two of its honorary awards titled BAFTA Fellowship and BAFTA Outstanding British sorry, BAFTA Outstanding British Contribution to Cinema Award in 2022, as it plans to implement new vetting processes following last year's controversy surrounding Noel Clarke. The science fiction epic Dune received the most nominations with 11, and Power of the Dog and Belfast followed with 8 and 6. Next passage related to Ukraine-Russia war. So ICJ, International Court of Justice, recently gave its preliminary verdict on this issue, granting Ukraine's request for provisional measures. The International Court of Justice, ICJ dash, you need to fill it up with the name of the place, on Wednesday 16th March ordered Russia to immediately suspend military operations that it commenced on dash 2022. You have to mention the date, on the territory of Ukraine. So first fill in the blank, you need to fill it up with name of the place, and second you need to mention the date. So 1 and 2 quickly answer. I will quickly read on. Russia has also been ordered to ensure that any irregular units or individuals or organizations under its effective control take no step in furtherance of Russia's military operation. All judges of the ICJ unanimously directed both Ukraine and Russia to ensure that they refrain from any action which can aggravate or extend the dispute before the court. As provisional measures, this order is interim in nature and is meant to apply till such time as the dispute between Ukraine and Russia at the ICJ regarding whether Ukraine is committing genocide in the region of Donetsk and Luhansk is finally decided. Noting that there was no evidence before it at that time that supported Russia's claim that Ukraine is committing genocide, which has been stated as the reason for Russia's special military operation by Russian President Vladimir Putin and Russia's special representatives to the UN and the European Union, the majority of the court observed that Ukraine has a plausible right not to be subjected to a unilateral military operation by Russia for the stated purpose of preventing the commission of genocide. Sakshi, your answer is right. Lavanya, your answer is right. Why did Putin invade Russia? There are many reasons for that, Siddhi, and all of it cannot be mentioned on the screen. So there are many reasons. One big reason is new oil and natural gas resources were explored on Ukrainian soil. So Ukraine used to be part of USSR. After the disintegration of USSR, Russia is the natural inheritor of the USSR legacy. Russia exports oil and natural gas to other countries, and biggest buyers are European nations. So रशिया के लिए सबसे बड़े buyers कौन है? EU, यूरोपियन यूनियन, जिसमें फ्रांस और जर्मनी काफी बड़ा चंक लेकर जाते हैं. लाइक जर्मनी का मोर देन 10 to 15% एनर्जी रिक्वायरमेंट रशिया फुलफिल करता है, एंड सेम अप्लाइज फॉर फ्रांस. एंड दे डू इट मोस्टली थ्रू पाइपलाइंस, एंड दे वर सोवियत एरा पाइपलाइंस लेड डाउन बाय द सोवियत गवर्नमेंट जो रशिया की गैस यूरोप तक पहुंचाते हैं, एंड दे पास थ्रू यूक्रेन. यूक्रेन वॉज चार्जिंग हैवी टैक्स एज रेंट. आपके पाइप्स हमारे घर से जा रहे हैं, यू हैव टू पे मनी. एंड नाउ रशिया यूक्रेन वॉज ऑल्सो गोइंग टू स्टार्ट इट्स ओन ऑयल एक्सप्लोरेशन. सो पहली चीज तो आप जो सामान बेच रहे हैं, रशिया जो गैस बेच रहा है उस पर यूक्रेन टैक्स लेता है, किराया लेता है. साथ ही साथ में फ्यूचर में वो अपना गैस भी बेचेगा, सो दे विल अंडरकट रशियन सप्लाई. देन यूक्रेन ऑल्सो वॉन्टेड टू ज्वाइन नेटो. दैट मीन्स नेटो फोर्सेज विल सिट नेक्स्ट टू रशियन बॉर्डर. सो अगर यूक्रेन ज्वाइन करता है तो इसका मतलब है नेटो की मिसाइल डिफेंस सिस्टम एंड ऑल वेपनरी विल रीच टू द डोर ऑफ रशिया. एंड राइट नाउ Russia cannot accept that. There is another geographical feature which factors in. If you look at European political map, you will realize that Russia का सबसे indefensible area is its European border. Why? Because that is European plains. So European plains काफी broad है Russian side पे, and it will narrow down when you move towards Germany. So if Russia expands towards west, it becomes easier for Russia to defend itself. If Russia is pushed back towards east, it becomes difficult for Russia to defend itself. So it has been NATO's policy to expand eastwards and Russia's policy to expand westwards. and that was the reason behind Cold War also. Chaliye, so whenever we say so, indirectly France and Germany are also responsible for this. No, they are buyers, so they are sponsoring this war indirectly. So Russia, 50% GDP, Russian GDP is dependent on oil and natural gas export. And to whom are they exporting? Countries like European Union and China and India. Okay, Riddhi says Russia annexed Crimea in 2014. Yes, Riddhi, that is also connected to what I just said. Ukrainian natural gas exploration जो हुआ Crimean region में सबसे ज़्यादा oil मिला है. So if you annex Crimea, that means you are denying Ukraine its precious exclusive economic zone as well as access to these resources. So it's all about oil. Wherever there is oil, there will be powerful countries looking for democracy. Okay, chiefly because NATO hate from Russia. देखिए, hatred and love are superficial notions here. Countries are not people. These are more like corporations, companies with no feelings. So every country will behave in a manner which suits its national interest. So in a situation like this, what is India doing? We are buying subsidized Russian natural gas and oil. हमको सस्ता मिल रहा है, हम खरीद रहे हैं. Okay. Let's move on. Well, answer a few questions. You can also watch Weekly Law Scoop. Last 2 episodes, we have discussed Ukraine-Russia crisis at length. The Hague and 24th Feb are the right answer. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Your options are: the ICJ is the principal judicial organ of UN. It is the only one of 6 principal organs of the UN that is not located in New York City. It was established in June 1945 by the Charter of the UN and began work in April 1946. The court is the successor of Permanent Court of International Justice (PCIJ), which was brought into being through and by the League of Nations. The ICJ has 16 judges who are elected to 9 years term by UN General Assembly and Security Council, which vote simultaneously but separately. Easy question. Rohan says Black Sea control for influence in Mediterranean. Yes, these are also factors that contributed. Ashirya Malik has a question. How is Ukraine committing genocide? Well, that is an allegation from the Russian side that Ukraine is killing Russian ethnic Russian people in Ukraine. So after the partition, after the disintegration, many minorities are still staying in Ukraine which are not ethnically Ukrainian, and the biggest chunk is Russians. So the areas which have been recognized as separate nations or have been annexed by Russia are mostly those areas which have substantial Russian ethnic population. Okay. Okay, someone says according to Russia, Ukraine is building nuclear weapon. So is it wrong to build nuclear weapon? Russia already has such a huge nuclear stockpile. Okay, chaliye. Try to answer this question. Correct answer is option D. Option D mein error hai. What is the error? It says there are 16 judges at ICJ, which is incorrect. There are only 15 judges at ICJ. And out of those 15, there is one Indian fellow representing us. Okay, can you name the Indian judge at ICJ? India's judge at ICJ. R.S. Pathak, Dalveer Bhandari, B.N. Rao or Vivek Talwani? R.S. Pathak, Dalveer Bhandari, B.N. Rao or Vivek Talwani? Easy question. Correct answer for this one is option B. Yes guys, option B is the right answer, Dalveer Bhandari. Justice Dalveer Bhandari is serving his second term at ICJ. Which one of the following statement is incorrect? Try this one. The International Court of Justice has ordered Russia to cease military action in Ukraine immediately in a preliminary decision in a case brought by Kiev. The Russian Federation shall immediately suspend the military operation that it commenced on Feb 24th on the territory of Ukraine. Judges at UN's highest court said in a 13:2 decision. India's judge at ICJ, Justice Dalbir Bhandari, also voted against Russia. Justice Bhandari was nominated to ICJ entirely on the support of the government in various missions over a period of time. Justice Bhandari voting against Russia was an independent move. Option D, none of these. So if you are pointing out any statement to be incorrect, tell me why is that statement incorrect. Okay. Correct answer is none of these. Yes, ICJ decided in the ratio 13:2. 13 judges were favoring this verdict and 2 voted against it. And these 2 guys were from Russia and China. So, current vice president of ICJ is a Russian guy and president is American. Devarshi says we didn't vote at all. We did. Devarshi, we are talking about ICJ. In ICJ, we have one guy, his name is Dalbir Bhandari, and he voted in favor of the verdict. So, India didn't vote at UN General Assembly and Security Council. We abstained. But this guy is a judge. Judges are not going to favor their countries. Judges have to decide upon matters based on facts and circumstances and merits of a particular case. So, yes, India abstained, but Dalbir Bhandari, who is a judge at ICJ, was part of the majority judges in deciding these preliminary decision or measures. Chaliye, none of these, moving on. It was taken from the Quint. A bit more about Russia-Ukraine crisis. Russia didn't take part in the hearings that were going on at ICJ. They have snubbed it. They have given their reply in a written form to the Security Council. They are saying that ICJ does not have jurisdiction. Why? Because Kyiv's request fell outside the scope of Genocide Convention. Now, ICJ, International Court of Justice, which is permanent organ of UN, cannot take up cases suo moto by itself. खुद से नहीं ले पाता है. Only when countries approach with a dispute, ICJ gets the mandate, ICJ gets the jurisdiction over it. Then how can they hear Ukraine's application? Because both Russia and Ukraine are part of Genocide Convention of 1948. Genocide Convention says that in case a dispute arises regarding the provision of Genocide Convention among the member nations means all those who have signed it, then any one country can go to the ICJ. So, Ukraine is claiming that Russia is invading our nation on the ground of genocide. So, and Russia has on their part denied any such allegation. Russia का current stand ये है that we haven't invaded Ukraine because of genocide. We did it out of self-defense. So we are the victims here. चलिए, let's move on. Genocide Convention is the first convention which defined the term genocide. What is genocide? When you try to kill or eliminate a particular population based on their identity. It can be ethnic, religious, linguistic, or some other form. Genocide Convention is also called Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide Convention of 1948. It was the first legal instrument to codify means to write down genocide as a crime, and it was also the first human rights treaty unanimously adopted by United Nations General Assembly on 9 December 1948. ICJ is one of the 6 permanent organs. It has 15 judges. Every judge is appointed for 9 years. Every third year, 1/3 judges retire and new 5 judges will join in. Current president is John Donohue. Same was done in Law Scoop. Yes, Riddhi, some of you have attended Law Scoop, so we covered this part. But in Law Scoop, we don't do comprehension based question. That is just a news bulletin. Here we are doing a weekly current affairs catch up, so it is important for all. Okay, Aryan says it is not fair that everywhere Russians are being targeted because of one fool, everyone is suffering. Aryan, that's one side of the story. I would recommend all of you to go to YouTube and search for RT News. RT News is the official news channel of Russia. And you will be surprised to know that you cannot access RT News now from India. Why? because the big tech companies sitting in USA have decided to boycott Russian news media outlets. That means American companies are deciding what Indians can see in India. And by doing that, they are controlling the narrative all over the world. This is called information imperialism. So these Western countries, whether you read, whether you are taking news from newspapers or TV news channels, most of the news is produced by a handful of companies, whether it is Reuters or Associated Press. All these are controlled by West. So what we get to see and what we get to hear is being controlled by those nations. Chaliye, let's move on. Rapid fire questions, 10 seconds to answer quickly. First question on your screen. What is the rank of RailTel in 8th edition of Fortune India, the next 500 of top mid-sized companies operating in India? So, give me the rank of RailTel. Your options are 88th, 95th, 112th or 124th. Shaurya says YouTube is American, so I think they have right. So what if they don't like your dear leader Narendra Modi and they decide that in India, one particular party, BJP, will not be allowed to showcase or tell anything, and they start boycotting all Twitter handles related to one political party, all leaders related to one political party, all channels related to one political party, all articles related to one political party? Will you get offended then? Obviously yes. Whether it is BJP or Congress or some other party, India is a free country. Everybody has a right to say. ठीक है, चलिए, that can go on as a long discussion, but right now let's focus on the rapid fire round. Correct answer for question 1 is 124th. Option D is the right answer. Next question. Pi Day is celebrated. Celebrates the mathematical constant pi. It is observed every year on which date? Pi Day कब मनाया जाता है? Aryan says on Pi Day in my school they used to order pizzas. So तो pizza day हो गया, but anyways अच्छी बात है. 13th March, 14th March, 15th March or 16th March. Correct answer is 14th March. Why 14th March? Bonus question. So 3.14. Yes, Aditya, that's correct. So third month, 14th day. Next question. Which state government has signed an agreement for the creation of fisheries infrastructure to boost fish production with NABARD? So which Indian state has recently signed an agreement with NABARD to increase fish production? Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra or Odisha? Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra, Odisha. Question 3, answer A, B, C, D. Right answer is option D. Option D, Odisha. Question 4. Which ministry has organized India Water Pitch Pilot Scale Startup Conclave at India Habitat Center in New Delhi? Which ministry has organized India Water Pitch Pilot Scale Startup Conclave at India Habitat Center, New Delhi? Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Ministry of Science and Technology, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. सुनने में जल शक्ति रखता है, लेकिन करेक्ट आंसर इज ऑप्शन ए, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हाउसिंग एंड अर्बन अफेयर्स. Which city has become the first South Asian city to detail net zero roadmap? Interesting question. Which city has become the first South Asian city to detail net zero roadmap? Your options are Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai or Pune. Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai or Pune. Harshada, that's correct. Shashank, that's right. Ishanya, that's right. Lavanya, that's correct. Correct answer is option C. It's Amchi, Mumbai. Next question. Which Indian badminton player has won silver in German Open to 2022 men's singles final at Molheim? Question 6. Your options are Shrikant Kidambi, S. Praneeth, Lakshya Sen, none of these. Shrikant Kidambi, B.S. Praneeth, Lakshya Sen, none of these. Right answer, guys, is option C. It is Lakshya Sen who won silver medal in men's singles final at German Open. Next question on your screen. Denmark has unveiled a plan to ensure that future generations are tobacco free and is considering banning the sale of cigarettes and other nicotine products to anyone born after dash. 2004, 2006, 2008 or 2010? So if you're born after that cutoff date, you won't be allowed to purchase cigarettes and other nicotine items. So much for equality. Right answer for this one is option D, 2010. Anyone born after 2010 will not be given nicotine products by sellers. Rashtriya Raksha University, it is an institute of national importance, is located in which city? So Rashtriya Raksha University, RRU, is located in which city? Rajkot, Pune, Kochi, Gandhinagar. Rajkot, Pune, Kochi or Gandhinagar. Right answer, Anmol, that's correct. Ishanya, that's right. Chetan, that's right. Correct answer is option D, Gandhinagar. Next question on your screen. The state government of Maharashtra has announced to set up country's first medical city named as Indrayani Medicity. कहाँ पर है ये? So Indrayani Medicity कहाँ पर है? मुंबई, नागपुर, पुणे और औरंगाबाद. So Maharashtra government announced to set up country's first medical city. No, everything will not go to Mumbai. So option A is incorrect. Nagpur, Pune, Aurangabad. Right answer is Pune. According to National Family Health Survey, NFHS 5, which state is the top state in the list of full immunization in India? Telangana, Odisha, Gujarat, Rajasthan. So this state generally does well in such parameters. A very progressive state. Telangana, Odisha, Gujarat or Rajasthan. Well guys, correct answer is Odisha. National Vaccination Day is celebrated every year on which date to raise awareness about vaccination and its importance? National Vaccination Day कब मनाया जाता है? 14th March, 15th March, 16th March or 17th March? National Vaccination Day is celebrated every year on which date to raise awareness about vaccinations and its importance in our country? 14th, 15th, 16th or 17th. So question number 11, let's see. C. Correct answer is option C. 16th March is the right answer. India's first digital water bank aquarium has been launched in. First digital water bank aquarium has been launched in Mumbai, Bangalore, Kochi or Kolkata. Mumbai, Bengaluru, Kochi or Kolkata. Chaliye. Farheen, that's right. Aditya, that's right. Sorry, that's incorrect. Correct answer is option B. Anmol got it right. Riddhi, that's correct. So correct answer is B, Bengaluru. Devarshi, that's right. Question number 13. The Museum for the Future is an exhibition space for innovative and futuristic ideologies, services and products. It has opened in, your options are Dubai, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Jordan. I think it's an easy guess. Anybody can answer this one. So Museum of the Future is an exhibition space for innovative and futuristic ideologies, services and products. कहाँ पर है? Dubai, Qatar, Saudi Arabia या Jordan? Right answer is option A, Dubai. Question 14. The Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways achieved a landmark when the dash became longest vessel ever to sail in Brahmaputra. Again, Gati Shakti here. So MV Sindhu Ghosh, MV Ramprasad Bismil, NV Shardul, MV Kumbhir. Bonus question, what does MV stand for? What does MV stands for is the bonus question. Right answer for question number 14 is option B. It was MV Ramprasad Bismil. So MV stands for motor vessel or marine vehicle. हाँ वो भी चल जाएगा. So vessel we generally use for ships. Okay. Next question on your, yes, Kashish, that's correct. Question 15. As per trends in international arms transfer 2021 by SIPRI, which country ranked first in terms of importers of arms between 2017 to 2021? Again an easy guess. कौन सी country सबसे ज़्यादा weapons खरीदती है? China, Saudi Arabia, India, UAE. China, Saudi Arabia, India, UAE. And this is one reason India was not sanctioned even after abstaining from voting against Russia thrice. Correct answer is option C, India. We are the biggest buyers. And who is the biggest seller in the world? सबसे ज़्यादा weapons बेचता कौन है? खरीदते तो हम हैं, बेचता कौन है? Aryan, try to refresh your screen. It will start working. So America sells 39% of arms around the world, and we are the biggest buyer. So इसलिए हमसे कोई बिगाड़ के नहीं रखेगा. We buy mostly from Russia, but we also buy a lot from France and substantial quantity from US. So we are diversifying. Which country will host 44th Fight Chess Olympiad in 2022? चेस का ओलंपियाड कहां होने वाला है? 44th एडिशन. इंडिया, सऊदी अरेबिया, इजिप्ट और डेनमार्क. इंडिया, सऊदी अरेबिया, इजिप्ट और डेनमार्क. चेस ओलंपियाड. अगेन करेक्ट आंसर इज ऑप्शन ए, इंडिया. Okay, the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI, is regulatory body set up by Government of India under Section 3 of the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India Act of which year? Your options are 1993, 1997, 2001, 2005. Question is not that easy, but I think some of you would be able to guess it. Riddhi, that's correct. Sashank, that's right. Correct answer is 1997. Question 18. Sri Lanka is facing its worst financial crisis. India has extended how much line of credit? और कितना उधार दे रहे हैं हम? Your options are 1 billion, 1.5 billion, 2 billion, 2.5 billion. It's a very recent news. हमने इससे पहले भी दिया है. So this is in addition to what we did in the past. So $1 billion, $1.5 billion, $2 billion or $2.5 billion. So anybody saying option C, आप पुरानी न्यूज पे हैं. Latest is option A, another $1 billion. Right answer option A. Rohan, that's correct. Kashish, that's right. चलिए, which Indian player has been awarded ICC's Men's Player of the Month in Feb 2022? Men's Player of the Month of Feb 2022. Your options are Ravindra Jadeja, Shreyas Iyer, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Shami. Ravindra Jadeja, Shreyas Iyer, Jasprit Bumrah or Mohammad Shami. Which Indian player has been awarded ICC Men's Player of the Month? Your options are Ravindra Jadeja, Shreyas Iyer, Jasprit Bumrah or Mohammad Shami. Option B is the right answer, not Jadeja. Aditya, correct answer is Shreyas Iyer. Shreyas Iyer became the Men's Player of the Month. India's first World Peace Center is being established in. इंडिया का सबसे पहला वर्ल्ड पीस सेंटर कहां बनने जा रहा है? गुरुग्राम, देहरादून, शिमला और पुणे. गुरुग्राम, देहरादून, शिमला और पुणे. Right answer is option A, Gurugram. Muskan says exams in Sri Lanka got cancelled because of lack of paper. ऐसी कमी हमारे यहाँ क्यों नहीं आती? चलिए, लेट्स मूव ऑन. चलिए, रैपिड फायर राउंड इसी के साथ खत्म होता है. इंपॉर्टेंट वन लाइनर्स. पाकिस्तान ने लास्ट वीक दे इंडक्टेड J-10C multi-role fighter jets which they bought from China. And UPI services now will be available also on normal phones. Earlier we could use UPI on smartphones. Thanks to RBI, they have come up with UPI 123 Pay, and now even normal phones can use UPI payments. 24 eminent writers, playwrights and novelists have been conferred Sahitya Akademi Awards. Please go through the detailed list of Sahitya Academy Awards for more knowledge. Yoon Suk Yeol has been declared as the winner of 2022 South Korean presidential election. So new president for South Korea, Yoon Suk Yeol. Index of industrial production grew by 1.32% on an annual basis, which is a jump from 0.7% annual growth in December 2021. This data was released by NSI. NSO is National Statistical Office. Former Financial Service Secretary Debashish Panda has been appointed as the new chairman of IRDAI. IRDAI is Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. Well, the Hungarian Parliament, this is important, Hungarian Parliament elected Katalin Novak as the first ever female president. Hungarian Parliament has elected Katalin Novak as the first ever female president. The Andhra Pradesh government has once again bagged the top rank in Scotch State of Governance rankings. So Scotch state ranking में last year also Andhra was at top. Again this year they are at top. The second rank was backed by West Bengal and then Odisha. International Day of Action for Rivers is celebrated on 14th March. Days and dates are always important. International Day for Action of Rivers, 14th March. BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards, has signed MOU with IIT Roorkee for establishing BIS standardization chair professor at IIT Roorkee. Okay. Supreme Court has appointed ex-judge A.K. Sikri as chairperson of high-powered committee which would consider cumulative and independent impact of Char Dham Mahamarg Vikas Pariyojana on the entire Himalayan valley. So this is what I was mentioning earlier. So now Justice A.K. Sikri will be heading a committee that is going to investigate and prepare a report on the impact of Char Dham Mahamarg Vikas Pariyojana, which is an infrastructure project on the northern part of a country where we are developing roads at remote locations and we are trying to connect all the major religious holy sites. Pradeep Kumar Rawat has been appointed as the new ambassador to China. So India के नए ambassador है China में Pradeep Kumar Rawat. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla addressed valedictory function of third edition of National Youth Parliament Festival in the Central Hall of Parliament in New Delhi. Kerala has emerged at top in certain charts. Maternal and child health records. So Kerala again has topped the chart. They have lowest maternal mortality rate, which is 30 per 1 lakh live births. Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana has laid foundation stone for arbitration center in Hyderabad. Arbitration is growing by leaps and bounds. World Consumer Rights Day is celebrated on March 15th globally. Acha, bonus question. On which day do we celebrate National Consumers Day? So National Consumer Awareness Day is celebrated on which day? Devarshi says Scotch. Well, it is not Scotch. ये दारू नहीं है. Scotch is a think tank based out of Delhi. They prepare reports for the government of India. On which day do we celebrate National Consumers Day in our country? 24th December, 28th, 15th. 15th तो देखिए इंटरनेशनल हो गया ना. 15th March. शौर्य से ज्यादा हो जाएगा. ठीक है, सो हम यही रुकेंगे, बहुत ज्यादा नहीं करेंगे. वन लाइनर्स के बाद विल स्टॉप, डोंट वरी. द वर्ल्ड कंज्यूमर राइट्स डे 15th मार्च को सेलिब्रेट किया जाता है और इंडिया में 24 दिसंबर को. द थीम वर्ल्ड कंज्यूमर, ओके, एंड दिस ईयर्स थीम फॉर वर्ल्ड कंज्यूमर राइट्स डे इज फेयर डिजिटल फाइनेंस. According to the data provided by Bureau of Police Research and Development (BPRD), women police personnel constitute 10%, 10.3% of the police force across India. Debedo Francis Kere has become the first African and first black architect to win Pritzker Architecture Prize. So, first black and first African to win Pritzker, whatever it is, Pritzker Architecture Prize. President Tayyip Erdogan opened a massive suspension bridge across Turkey's Dardanelles Strait on Friday. It has the longest main span. Main span is basically distance between the two towers. कितना आपका space बचता है when you open up the bridge completely. Distance between two towers of any suspension bridge in the world. So it is one of the longest. Chaliye, so we'll stop here. Legal updates will be covered in the next weekly Law Scoop. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much guys for attending this. Is Kundakulam nuclear power plant relevant for CLAT? Yes, it is. Where do you take Law Scoop? Law Scoop is also conducted on YouTube. So you can check out YouTube videos on IMS Gets At Law channel. That will help. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to click on the like button before you leave in order to appreciate what we do for you. Thank you so much for attending. We'll keep on meeting every weekend. Till then, all the best for your board exam, for those of you who are appearing in board exam. And stay tuned. We'll meet again next Saturday. Bye. Keep learning. Keep sharing. information imperialism, Devashi.